Karibu sana to another Sanaa kwa Sanaa Sunday session on this 14th day of May 2023. Saa hizi ni 8:18 pm. Kuna some 8s going on hapo na tumefika the 28th second on this live recording. On the playback inaweza kuwa tofauti. Anyway, karibu sana kwa another one. Natumai upande wako unaendelea vyema. Natumai pia wiki yako imekuwa njema. If otherwise, this is existence. This is the chaotic life that Tuli sign up for, or rather, the universe signed us up for. Things happen, shit happens. Tuko hapa ingawaje, na asante for taking the time to join another Sunday session. Asante for your continued support. Tutafanya a week recap. It's been a while since tufanya a week recap, but nimekuwa nikifanya event reviews for a while, so has it really been a while? Anyway, tutafanya a week recap, then kama kutakuwa na possibility ya Q&A. I've been loving those, so for the person who amejoin na ame like the video, asante. Kama kuna maswali ya kuuliza, feel free kuanza kuyauliza, anza kuprepare, anza kufikiria, you can ask them. Hata kama utakaa entirely through the video, utapata nimeyajibu baadaye if you're watching this back, but kutakuwa na Q&A. Napenda kufanya hizi Q&A na kuinteract nawe, so iwapo kuna any of those, feel free kuyauliza. We've done amazing ones. We had 2 amazing Q&A sessions which have happened for the past, I was to say 3 weeks, but our 3rd session going back from this one ya Santuri, the Jadili panel discussion, tukaongelea AI and music. Hapo ndio our Q&A ilianza. Aisha Omar, thank you so much. It's been a long time since I saw your name. It has been a long time. I saw your name a while back, a while back kwa one of our videos. Thank you so much for joining our live session. I think this is the first time. I'm saying I think because maybe you've joined one na hukusema chochote, but karibu sana. So during hiyo convo ya Jadili panel discussion, reviewing that, nilikuwa na Q&A here which ilianza na AI and ilikuwa part of the questions zile Hazel aliuliza na ali bring up. Then the following session after that as well was on 10 years of upgrade, then future ya Sanaa kwa Sanaa, politics and music, current trends, the current climate and more. Then last week we didn't get to do a Q&A. There was none of that, but tulikuwa na a hangout where nili review events zile nili attend. So ilikuwa ni kama a recap of sorts, and I've done week recaps as I was reviewing events during this past Sanaa kwa Sanaa Sunday sessions for a long time. So niliongelea Ruined, which was a play reading, a star-studded lineup at the Gute Library. Kulikuwa na conflicting realities. Ili happen at the auditorium, and then there was Cheche sessions turning one last week. So there was a celebration happening for their first anniversary which nearly attend, and the person who was performing during that session was Kendi Mkonge Mohol. And then we had a reading at the end of our session. I've wanted to do readings and I started doing readings, and those have been fun as well to do. So nimekuwa nikienjoy kufanya the Q&A sessions. I've also been enjoying doing readings. I've done 2 readings thus far. Both of those were from a book I was reading titled Asian American Sexualities. I read a poem from there, then I read a short story. So today we shall also do a reading once we conclude this session. The title says so as of now. Sikusure kama itabaki the same once I finish, but tutakuwa na a reading as well. Nilikuwa na contemplate not having a reading, but nikajiambia why not. One of the events nitakuwa naongelea ni event ya Aminatuzahra Kalebi which ilifanyika jana, na alikuwa na a chapbook ile alitupatia for those who attended, which you can still get, iko available. I shall be sharing more details baadaye, and I'll do a reading from that book tukimaliza. Itakuwa my read after what I'm currently reading, or I could actually read it concurrently na my current read. So I want to Omar, umeambiwa like the video. Umeambiwa like the video. Shukran sana Jack, siko najua uko inadi, asante sana. My current read is a novel titled White Teeth. So there are paragraphs there that I'd love to read. Kuna excerpts fascinating that I enjoyed reading. I'd love to share them. So I wanted to do that, but ndaisoma next week. So for this week, as we discuss Amina's performance, Amina's poetry concept show, I shall follow that up by a reading kutoka kitabu chake. So nimegusia what tulifanya wiki iliyopita, ilikuwa a late night hangout session where we covered the play reading. The event ilikuwa the auditorium, ilikuwa conflicting realities, a multidisciplinary interdisciplinary event. After that kulikuwa na Cheche turning 1 and the reading iliyomaliza. Then kukawa na mziki ya wiki 2.48 iliyopublish the following day, which ilikuwa Monday or later that day, because our session went until Monday. And here we are for today's session. Asante to Aisha Omar for joining. Amesema I miss you, coming home soon inshallah. Ako Canada. The other person ali hapa ni Jack mwenye ameambia Omar like the video. Shukran sana pia to Jack for being here as well. Mwenye tuliestablish yeye hasikizangi hip hop, kazi tu ni kuwatch international battle rap na kuwatch mse fulani akijaribu kumaster the art of freestyling, and that is Jack as far as Kenyan art, na kusikia 1183 na Black Swahili but shukran sana Jack na Aisha for being here, niko grateful. So hii wiki imekuwa filled kind of week, imekuwa na activities kadha. Upande wangu sijaenda events nyingi, sijakuwa nikisha events, imekuwa ziki happen for a month or so now. Jack najua kule huko Jack najua kule huko so imekuwa na activity filled week upande wangu, and hizo activities have had to do na Sanaa kwa Sanaa, and one of those not so. So kuanzia Tuesday up until jana, leo pia as we speak kuna an event happening at Ayira's Cafe, I believe that is the name, Ayira ama Ayiro, where shows za kike hufanyikanga. There are neo soul shows most of the time, but pia nakuanga na spoken word acts as well wenye wamekuwa featured. We love you Kenya, Canada. Thank you Omar, thank you so much for being here. So as we speak there's a show happening huko, show ya kina Anariko, kina Zaituni. They also had Meryl Page on the lineup I believe, and 20 more days. So there's a performance ongoing. I think Roger na Irauka wako huko, they were supposed to go. So if all factors ilibaki constant, I am assuming they have attended the show. Na nasikiza Zaituni, tulikuwa na Zaituni jana, alikuwa kwa lineup ya acts wenye walikuwa part of the band ya ku accompany na ku play pamoja na Amina. So on Tuesday we had a sit down with an amazing artist. Akona roots zake in singing in high school. Akona roots zake kwa the Kenyan art scene as a spoken word act, also as a singer. Yuplay pia the ukulele, yuko pia na a violin. So we had a sit down with them for an absolutely brilliant conversation. Once those conversations are public, you will see kile nasema na uta attest to whatever it is I am stating on this video. So timestamp this, mark this conversation. Once I publish those conversations, return to this video and then mark easy words and reflect on kile nasema, and then contrast, compare to the outcome of that conversation, to the outcome of those conversations once they are out. The artist I'm talking about 2 months back on 10th March staged her solo debut show, her solo debut performance show at Santuri, at the Santuri Salon hapo Westlands. Na naongelea Muthoni Ni Mimi. Alikuwa na performance showcase titled Reflective Surface. We had a sit down with Muthoni Ni Mimi, and that is one for the books. We've been having brilliant conversations, and all the artists that we have interviewed thus far, I am having fun sitting down na artists and conversing with them, kupata insights from them, kusikiza their stories, kusikiza their inspirations, and learning more about them and their craft and their works that they've shared with us. I've been having fun doing that. It's so amazing, it's so enjoyable, it's very insightful, and I am looking forward to doing more of that. This is something that nilisema mwanzo wa 2022 that ningependa kufanya conversations. We are back. So my YouTube imeanza kumisbehave kama jana. As a matter of fact, nikianza ilikuwa niseme, will we be consistent today with the internet? Because yesterday our internet was misbehaving. Jack alikuwa nasi, alitupata tukimaliza hiyo session. So we said, rather nilisema after your session with Jazia, Frequency and Koikare walikuwa wana launch a collection, an anthology during their show beginning of 2022. Randomly, after covering the event, after recording the entire event, I stole them for some moments and chatted with them kuhusu the event, kuhusu poetry, and many more things that we discussed. So from Jazia to Frequency to Koikare, and it felt beautiful. Na nakumbuka nikisema I would love to do more of that and just sit with artists, spend time with them, and talk and converse. Then, once that was the case, pia kulikuwa na meeting Noel Deritu and just sitting with Lisa Odur Noah during a performance at Gecko Cafe ya Amani Baya, Eddie Gray, and Aaron Rimbui, and just talking to Lisa and feeling I would love to do more of this with more artists. It took some time, but we got there eventually. We always get there, and that is the ethos of Sanaa kwa Sanaa. Eventually, we do what we say we will do, regardless of the duration that itatake. Timaye ngo yetu itafanyika na tuta execute. So that happened, and in October we sat down with Romy Swahili for an official recording that started our anniversary conversations with artists, where we are celebrating their projects as they commemorate certain milestones depending on how old those projects are turning. But before that, after having conversations na Jazia, Frequency, na Koikare, na Lisa Odur, in February, as Lisa Odur Noah's album was being released, tulikuwa na sit down na Trabi on All Roads Lead Home. Ilikuwa first conversation tukimark an anniversary of a project, na ilikuwa amazing sana that was Traboli, a friend of ours, a homie, a supporter. Ilikuwa beautiful that it happened. Msatu mwenye ameingia, karibu sana. Asante for liking the video na appreciating you when you know what to do when you get here. Asante sana. Let's keep cheating the algorithms. Following that, towards the end of the year tukawa na conversations with Romy Swahili, a 2 hour and 23-minute conversation on Romy knowledge na mashairi, one for the books. It started a beautiful journey. Now nikisema officially recording hizi conversations where tumekaa with the artist and you have cameras and lights and you're recording. For Trouble ilikuwa spontaneous, because I am usually spontaneous. Shared the idea na Tra kasema ako game, tukakaa nikatoa simu tukarecord. Absolutely hilarious, insightful, entertaining, eye-opening from Tra. Kama whenever you have a sit down with Tra or a chat with him, anakuanga insightful sana na ni mfani Mtinda Mulire is a funny person, so we had fun and it was only right that pia towards the end of that year tukakaa na Romy Swahili, ndugu yake, watu wenye ja kusikiza peke yao as far as Kenyan hip hop, and ikaenda poa sana. And then we had Michelle Gatuiku in January, then last month, a month ago and a week or two, tuka have LC Wameo. So I'm just showing you the trajectory of our interviews that we've had have been nothing short of brilliant. And then we had a sit down. This is just an unofficial, maybe, because haikuwa in the format that we usually do when you're having anniversary conversations. But that conversation that we had with Muthoni Ni Mimi, trust me, once that is out, I am telling you, look forward to that one. And the reason that hatukuifanya in the format that we've done our interviews thus far ni because I am trying to return to writing more. So I did a feature 2 or so weeks back that was published. So if you follow me on Instagram, my personal account, I did a feature and nilifanya feature ya charisma. So I've said here a few months back that I want to return to writing. I want to do feature articles, profile pieces, which can also be the same thing. Ningependa kuandika more reviews and such, think pieces, opinion pieces. I want to do more of that. So looking at that, doing that charisma feature, I loved the process of having a chat with charisma, and then your process muddled and non-linear. You're compiling the piece together and re-listening to the interview, putting together your piece and the concepts and the flow of ideas and the flow of thought that you're going for, kuimeka a cohesive piece. I love that process. Inaweza kuwa tedious kuifanya, but I enjoy it. So I want to do that more and write more. And I am a fan of profile pieces. I was even saying this to Labdi on Friday night after their performance. And I love to do more of such and just write more. I enjoy writing. I love reading articles and pieces ziko inspired na zina stem from art. So I want to get into that space, and it's a huge part of documentation and keeping records and archiving. So we did that with Muthoni, which ties to your goal na your intention or objective that niko nayo ya returning to the same. So that's why the format ile tulifanya in ilikuwa tofauti. I also feel and believe that ka pia tungerecord ingekuwa amazing. In fact, kama tungerecord ingekuwa better than what it will be, kwa sababu when itakuwa written kuna so much that haitakuwa captured as zilisemwa. But after we did that interview, I shared an idea with Muthoni and Irauka. So I talked to them, nikawambia I have a feeling that I should share this the way tumeifanya. So once ime exist in its original format, original here meaning the original intention, kutakuwa na a follow up to that in the format that ilikuwa captured. So look forward to this. So Aisha amesema love her, one of the best. Then akasema bro, get in touch with me. Then akasema you making me, and then emoji. I need you to get my favorite people, Calligraph and Sauti Soul. Whew. Mm-hmm. I do not know how kuwapata. Unajua, we are just a small channel. If you know people who can get us in touch with them, we are game. For sure. All of our Kenyan artists to the world. You're a genius, my son. Go for it. I'm here for you. Asante sana for the comments and the compliments and your sentiments, Aisha. I appreciate that. I have jokingly made remarks about interviewing Calligraph whenever I chill na my people. I've made the remark jokingly of interviewing Calligraph. I can interview anyone. The ability is not the issue. Finding questions is not the issue. The issue is finding the people. That's the concern. For Sauti Sol, I have been in contact with two of Sauti Sol's members, Savara and Fancy Fingers. And I had a mind-blowing, honoring, humbling moment na Fancy Fingers akiniambia aliona my video. I was reviewing performance yake ya November, I think, or early December, November, I believe, at Unplugged Gig Dynamics at Jamhuri Showground. Ye kuniambia experience yake and sentiments zake on watching that review humbled me. Then I talked na Savara, tukapanga kitu. So it's yet to materialize. They have performances, they have tours that they're doing, but hopefully. So pray for me. Somebody please pray for me. If you know that reference, niambie kwa comment section. Hopefully it'll happen. I can only hope. And it's something I am looking forward to. If it materialize, I would love to have that sit down with Savara. So unapata exclusives if you're watching this. Exclusives. I have not planned anything na Fancy Fingers, but I wouldn't mind. In fact, I'd love to. Sana when the year comes to an end, we could do either potluck or further studies, but I'd love further studies first since itakuwa na turn 2 towards the end of this year, which in itself is mind-blowing. It's already 2 years since project itoke. Next month itakuwa 3 years since Midnight Train itoke. Ilikuwa this past month 3 years since Like You and Yashinsky itoke. 2020 is that far back. So I'd love to have a sit down na hawa wasanii. Definitely. I enjoy those conversations. Pia, speaking of time, it's a year. Such a Sunday session last year, which ilikuwa on the 15th. Tulikuwa tumeka here on a live session na Babu, having a conversation on Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers. So iliturn a year on the 13th, which ilikuwa jana. Hiyo pia ni unbelievable that it's 1 year since Kendrick had released your project after a long period of being away from the scene na kufanya vitu vyake, with exceptions za kitu kama, was it Black Panther or Lion King? I think ilikuwa Black Panther. Kuna project walifanya ka TDE that walikuwa commissioned for and they made the soundtrack to the movie. Was it Black Panther? The soundtrack. So outside of that, kufanya a solo project ilikuwa Dam. After that long period ya kwenda away, akakuja release Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers to a lot of conversations, a lot of contentious discussions. The album ili spark, and we were here with Babu for a discussion on that album a year ago on the 15th of May 2022. It's been a year since we had that. Ilikuwa a lengthy, in-depth discussion with Babu. It's always an amazing time having Babu here with us for these conversations, and we've had a number of those with them. That was one for the books. So if you've never watched that conversation, please itafute uicheki, usikize sentiments on all those conversations that really stem from that album. You'll get a lot of perspectives, usikie our sentiments. I also shared my experience of listening to the album for the first time. As I was getting into that conversation, that night nilikuwa nimesikia that project earlier that evening for the first time. So for me, nilikuwa na share a fast listen reaction experience nikipeana my sentiments. Ilikuwa beautiful conversation. So it's 1 year since that happened. Babu, if you're watching, it has been a year since we sat with you here for that one. So with the interview that nimesema, it exists in 2 ways. Kutakuwa na the format that nilikuwa nimeintend, which itakuwa written, then kutakuwa na the audio, possibly, hopefully. Nataka ufeel hiyo conversation in its raw format, the way ilitoka. So we were discussing show yake Reflective Surface iliyofanyika on 10th March 2023 at the Century Salon. But before that conversation, we were chilling, sitting, and we had a philosophical conversation touching on a number of topics, a myriad of topics. That was something. So look forward to that na kuprep in advance. At least you know it happened na unajua inakuja. Look forward to that conversation, those conversations. The main focus kwanza ni hiyo reflective surface. Get that out fast, then work on the other philosophical reflection that we had. As Irauka alisema, ilikuwa myself, Irauka na Muthoni. As Irauka alisema, we should just have a thing in existence that just pays people to sit and think, and we'll be willing to do that job of thinking. Mi kwanza, I am a professional thinker. All I do is think, and these Sunday sessions can attest. These 3-hour-long conversations, thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. Aisha Omar is leaving kile anasema. They are saying support your own, and indeed the sentiments amekuwa kishare. It's just support, support, support. I appreciate you so much for joining this session for the first time and being here and sitting with us through this conversation. If you're here as well, let me know that tuko hapa. Thank you for liking the video. If you haven't, like the video, like the video, like the video. I need to feel as if I am doing something significant with my life. So that is dependent on your like and on your comment and your subscription too if you haven't subscribed yet. So hiyo ilikuwa a sit down that we had on Tuesday, and then on Thursday I listened to McKinley and Friends kidogo. Pale Alchemist walikuwa na performance that niliingia tu kidogo kusikiza. I noted the difference with hizi events whereby you have, depending on the artists who are usually featured, cause ukienda hizo Thursday night live sessions on any other day utapata kumechrome. Ni kama if you go to Alliance for Showcase Wednesday or their performances, depending on who is performing, utapata hiyo place imechrome. So nakumbuka a few years back when TNL used to happen, Thursday night live ya Jays. I don't think Alchemist zao zinaitwanga live at the Alchemist. Yes, Thursday night live za Jays or before zilikuwanga Baricho Road at Choices. but at Jay's, depending on the artist mwenye alikuwa na feature, kama ungefika huko mapema ungeambiwa, did they used to tell people asiingie because kumejaa? Not really. I think ungeingia ungepata tu kumechrome, so ungepata place ya kusimama, place fiti ama place ya kukaa. So I remember time Eric was performing, ilikuwa imechrome. Actually, even before Eric kulikuwa na Aaron Rimbui, if I can remember the order of performances accurately. Aaron Rimbui was in the country na alikuwa nafaa kutravel, so alikuwa na a show before aende. Sijui if this is before I relocate to New York, it could be, or America, it could be. So what happened, alikuwa na a sort of a farewell show, if again my memory is accurate, and that place was packed, absolutely packed. And when that show was happening, the setup was different at the time. So kule stage ya Jay-Z ilikuwa where Aaron alikaa, ilikuwa the opposite side. If you've been to Jay's and you watched hizo performances huko, najua they changed your stage mara kadhaa. So kulikuwa na the space that they used for the stage for a long time, whereby as you entered and you climbed the stairs, ungeona mbele yako where the stage was. So si hapo, sa ilikuwa the opposite side where kulikuwa na ungeingia ni kama unaenda kwa the other side of the bar in the space. Hiyo space mbele ya hiyo room ingine ndio Aaron alikuwa ana play from, and that place was packed. For Eric Wainaina aliplay next to hiyo place nasema. So you have this room where kuna a bar uko ndani, Aaron alikuwa just mbele ya that room. So next to that place, right, ndio where Eric alikuwa time alikuwa na perform, na alikuwa na Candy as part of BGV's work. They usually work together and perform together, and they have for a long time. And I just mentioned Candy because alikuwa kwa Cheche session wiki iliyopita, as walikuwa na sherekea their first anniversary. Hiyo ilikuwa show ya Eric, ilikuwa pia imechrome. When Dr. Pizzo was performing, hiyo pia ndio ilikuwa the stage. So I think during their last days the stage had shifted from where it used to be, wakaipeleka kwa hiyo place ile nasema. But the band had a show at Jay's a few years back with the stage next to the entrance as you climbed the stairs, and that place was full, that place was packed. So on any other day, ukienda live at the Alchemist, ukiangalia even if you look at clips online kama ni za Charisma whom I've mentioned, or kina Ethan, or even outside of shows live at the Alchemist, when kuna other artists performing there, the place inakuanga packed. So I got there hapo kwa next to the stage where fans usimama wakidance wakijibamba. The place was empty, watu walikuwa wamekaa na kulikuwa na a few people. Watu wapendi jazz, eh? Ampendi jazz country. I don't know if Safaricom jazz will ever return. I don't know if that will ever return. But McKinley and friends, we just stepped in kidogo kupata some taste of some jazz, and that was enjoyable to experience na kusikia McKinley na the band McKinley and friends. Wanakuanga pia na shows at Gecko kila Tuesday, I believe. Ukiangalia page ya Gecko utapata more details. So ndo alikuwa the featured acts this past Thursday live at the Alchemist. Nilikuwa nimetoka mashughuli hapa na pale, machum za Westi, sikia jazz, ingia kidogo, enjoyed some horns, McKinley na trumpet yake, some lead, some drumming, some bass, some keyboard, nikaenda nyumbani. I enjoy jazz concerts, na kulikuwa na Afrolect this past month which I didn't go to, but I'd love to go to more jazz concerts. Sijui kama I mentioned it because kulikuwa na swali from Hazel who switch art forms 2 weeks back, ningependa kuinteract with more. So music, I'd love to go to more jazz concerts as often as I did in 2016, 17, 18. I need to experience more of those as well. Then on Friday kulikuwa na performance ya Unganisha at the Mist. So if you're here, part of the video title ni Q&A. Kunafaa kuwa na Q&A session after this recap that namalizia. So iwapo una swali lolote ungetaka kuuliza kuhusiana na Kenyan arts, kuhusiana na Kenyan music, kuhusiana na sanaa kwa sana, tafadhali feel free kuuliza. I'll get to them na nitakupatia majibu. So kunafaa kukuwa na a Q&A session, so use that and ask questions ambayo unayo. I'll be glad to answer them. So feel free, changamka, feel free, just throw some questions there. Art related, music related, sana kwa sana related, nitafurahia sana kuyajibu, tafadhali. What month was I born? I don't want you all people to know me like this. DM me privately. We love you. Asante sana, Aisha. I appreciate you being here. Sana, sana, sana. So, Friday Unganisha was performing at the Mist. They have been busy this past few weeks traveling, doing some press here and there. They had just traveled from Mayotte, which is part of the Comoros. They had a performance kwa a particular festival that they were a part of. Then they returned for another performance at the Mist. Nimewambia mara kadhaa hapa, ukipata muda Ijumaa magizani, tembea machuom za the Mist, usikize kile ina happen huko. Utagundua wasanii wengi, utasikia music kibao, utasikia sounds tofauti. So make a point of doing that. And at this point, the Mist wanafaa kunilipa for influencing. The Mist should pay me for influencing. So whatever happened on Saturday, yesterday may happen tena. Nimepoteza my chat and then ikaniambia retry, nikaretry ikatokea. So it seems based on hii trepidation that niko nayo, kuna possibility that somewhere this will start lagging as it did yesterday. Ilisha happened some moments ago. So my internet is just here being unstable. Zuku, 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 Zuku. I am here talking about the Mist kunipatia a bag, courtesy of influencing, and then mnafanya maneno hapa. Mtaki nipate pesa. So, make a point kwenda the Mist tafadhali. Kipata muda, pitia hizo machum. Usikize kile ina happen. They feature acts kila wiki. So this past week was Unganisha. Walikuwa na their debut self-organized show in partnership na Santuri early this year in January. After being together for years, so they've performed kwa festivals, kwa events, but hiyo ya January ilifanyika at Move Bistro. Ilikuwa ile show yao ya kwanza ile wamepanga na wameintend kufanya for themselves by themselves. Ilikuwa on Jan 14th, and on that day we had sat down and interviewed Michelle Gatwiku on that same day. Ilikuwa a Saturday. I attended that show. Ilikuwa amazing sana kusikia songs from an EP that nilikuwa nimesikia throughout last year since nianze kusikiza, which is the debut EP Kucheza. Kuwasikia on Friday night as well was another experience altogether. Different energy, different vibe. Hiyo space ya the Mist vile iko, everything was different in terms of the energy and the feel. The music still bangs as always. The energy is still there as always, based on their music and their sonic choices and hizo melodies na performances. Labdi and yeye as a performer, ku have fun kwa stage, ku interact with the audience. Banje, Elias Band kufanya stuff yake on instruments zake na devices zake ka 20. Ilikuwa so much fun, ilikuwa very enjoyable, ilikuwa interactive, ilikuwa energetic, and we did have a brilliant time with Unganisha. Nyanchama anasema, I wanted to go see them so bad, but social anxiety has me by the neck. I understand that. I completely understand that. Ungeniona, ningekushona ishia ingekuwa an incentive kidogo. Incentive kiasi tu. So naelewa Nyanchama, naelewa. Ungeniuliza kana ishia ni kuchoche ni incentive yako kuja kuniona. Nyanchama, kuna something that will be a surprise to you. Hivi karibuni. So look forward to that. So that will be the last show ya Unganisha for some time, not because of anything serious, but band is traveling back. I actually think I may travel back today. Ilikuwa travel leo kurudi Norway up until June, when Qalby will be traveling kwenda huko. They get some work done, wanawakia a new project, and they can't wait to see how that one goes. I cannot wait to see how that one goes for Unganisha, kusikiza a full-length project from them, a full-length LP from Unganisha. That will be an experience. Kama kucheza, the EP was what it was. Fave ya Irauka ya last year, top EP kwake, fave yangu as well. To me, zilikuwa Atai na LC wa Males na Iloti, because as I said kwa our video tukipeana our lists of best EPs of 2022, whenever I listened to either, nilikuwa najiambia this is the best project of last year kwa EPs. Then nasikiza another project najiambia unasikia the other project najiambia na this is it. So ilikuwa this or ilikuwa back and forth. Unasikia Nailote kunajiambia yes this is the one, unasikia kucheza unajiambia this is the one, unasikia Nailote this. That was the motion that nilikuwa na undergo nikisikiza hizo EPs, nikidecide which is the one and why, nikitumia my criterias. But for me both of them were Atai. Roger pia alikuwa nayo kwa top 3 yake, ilikuwa number 3 for Roger. Eba alikuwa nayo at number 8 or 7 disrespectfully if you ask Irauka, which made for some of the best moments kwa video zetu za Sanaa kwa Sana. So with that also hii surprise nasema that Nyanchama atapata, na amesema ana keep macho yake peeled kupata. The surprise has to do with Unganisha, and sijui kama umekuwa hapa nikianza kuzungumzia Muthoni Ni Mimi, whom we had a sit down with on Tuesday that nime recap. We had a small sit down na Unganisha. Things are happening. I said this some moments ago. Si usema na si utenda, and we execute our plans, our thoughts, our ideas we play around with them and act upon them. So there will be an absolute experience coming your way. Kutakuwa na an absolute experience coming your way. Mi kuongea na Qalby ilikuwa after their performance, nikimwambia kuhusu feature articles and profile pieces or feature articles on artists. I love doing those ones, so nilikuwa namwambia kuhusu the same, and I was sharing that because I want to do more of that on the blog and get back to writing as much as I did a few years back. I enjoy your process ya kuandika and putting articles together. But there is something small for you Nyanchama, for you Aisha, for you who is an Unganisha fan, a kucheza fan. Kuna kitu that utapata na Unganisha, so that is something great. Mi na have fun na have fun, najibamba. It's expensive to do these things though. Hapo tu ndo tatizo iko. That's another thing also as well. So for y'all who have money, send Sanaa sana money. Send us money. Go over on Patreon. We have our Patreon link for our about section here on YouTube. Go to Patreon, be a patron, give us money to support our artistic, our creative endeavors. Hizi ni important endeavors that tuna undertake. So enda Patreon, give us money. If not, you can just ask for an M-Pesa number, but importantly, give us money kufanya hizi vitu. Hizi vitu zina kula do, na ni kama music videos, for example, for artists where una spend money on videos, but that money won't necessarily return. You'll get money from concerts that you do, from your music that umefanyia a video for. You'll get money from other songs that you have ataka hazina videos but performing those songs. Tunajua streams ni story ingine. So it's similar to that because you spend money, then unapata 2 views on a video, uko na subscribers number fulani, uko far from monetizing your channel. Is this a good investment? So give us money. So Nyanchama, I am glad you're here. Nilikuwa nasema kama kuna swali lolote unaweza uliza. I'll get to our Q&A segment in a few. Shukran sana Aisha. Asante sana. Nasema yes, I will. Please give us money. We need money. Who doesn't need money? The work that we do here at Sanaa kwa Sana is exceptional work. This is very seminal. So, usipotupatia mapesa, mnapea nani pesa? Nani kasi Sanaa kwa Sana? So, shukran sana to Santuri. Shukran sana to Unganisha. Beyond grateful for that moment that tulikuwa nayo. Pia beyond grateful to Muthoni. Hii wiki tume build, tukamine, tukapata gold. So for those who consider gold to be valuable, it's a metaphor. After that show at the Mist ya Unganisha, kulikuwa na an exhibition at museum which hatukuweza kuenda ya affordable art. Ilikuwa na happen from 12th to 14th hadi leo sikuweza kufika. Kulikuwa na show ya Traboli performing na Ecstatic homegrown at Nairobi Street Kitchen, which pia tukuweza kuenda kwa sababu that was on Saturday. Kulikuwa na performance showcase ya Aminatuzahra Kalebi ama Aminatuzahra Ahmed at Cheche. Debut poetry concept showcase yake. Amekuwa in the scene for a few years. Alislamingi in 2019, wakaenda kwa Grand Slam ya 2019 which ilifanyika in Jan 2020, na ni aka emerge victorious, akacrowniwa the 63rd slam champion. After that performance, after ye kuemerge victorious, nili have an interview na Amina. Nimefanya kazi bana. That is also another amazing conversation that I had na Amina that is available on the blog. You can check it out. Neno toka Aminatuzahra Kalebi, the 63rd slam champion. Ama ukitype jina lake utapata, ukitype slam champion kwa blog utapata. That was a moment that tuli capture in time, akashare experiences zake. And one question that nilimuuliza ilikuwa what tunafaa look forward to toka kwake, which was the last question of that conversation. Akasema kuwa more active in the scene na kufanya more art na kuinteract more with the people. So between then and now alikuwa a mother, so we know how that path usually goes in terms of motherhood, parenthood, raising a child. Then pia alikuwa nasoma bado, ni a psychology graduate, so getting into the workspace as well, na yeye kukuwa psychologist but still writing and creating. And out of that tukapata a show finally called Qalby, which inamaanisha heart. And kushua Aisha ana relate to, just based on comment yake, ana relate to the same. So Qalby, heart. So Amina alikuwa anatupatia her heart, alikuwa anatupatia heart yake, ilikuwa na get personal na intimate, na yeye kutukaribisha kwa heart yake na home yake na soul yake. And that as a debut showcase, and that as a showcase generally, was exceptional from Amina in terms of vile ali approach na the way that ali execute. Ili tie into concept ya Qalby, ili tie into the concept ya intimacy that ilikuwa ingrained na the foundation and the basis of this performance and the showcase that ali stage at Cheche jana as her debut poetry concept showcase Qalby. So ilikuwa beautiful sana ku-explore na ku-experience and kukuwa part of that space, and it even ties to how you use deco, how you use a space. Hizi ni vitu that tumeongelea hapa tukiongelea execution of events. Imekuwa a long time since tufanye live event reviews tukiwa on location. We've done that once na ilikuwa in 2021 tukienda show ya Yaba, hekaya za Rumba Ken, ilifanyika mahali side za Karen. What is the name of that ranch? Something ranch. So tulikuwa tuna record our sentiments on the show, Mimi, Roger na Musoti. If you've never watched that, go and watch that video. So ni hekaya za Rumba Ken event review. Ilikuwa a new concept, a spontaneous concept as usual, but we execute. So in our sentiments as well as some performance clips from that event. We are supposed to do that more. So we've said this from your moment, and I've said this nikiongelea other events zile zimefanyika, that kila kitu ina matter kwa the ambience and part of the experience depending on what you are going for. I've mentioned Shin City and how Nyashinsky ali execute the concept, the first one sana sana, and how ilikuwa game changing na mind blowing because of the creation of a city and different places within this city and different structures to mirror the concept of the city. That same night that Shin City was happening, I've said this here before, Roger, our very own, was also having a show. And yeye pia concept ya performance yake which alititle Midnight Musings ilitie to the way we experienced the show, because the show ilianza midnight. And so tuna go through musings za Roger, midnight musings zake at midnight, and matching the time that you have easy musings and an enactment or a reenactment of his experiences na thoughts zake, and then creating the environment to mirror the time and to reflect i room ile yuko in chumbani mwake and in the space ile you have haya mawazo. So it's usually significant to tie things together in that manner depending on kile una intend to achieve kama an artist and what you want to give to the people. So I noted that hizi ni concepts na ideas zile Amina alifikiria na aka inculcate kwa the performance. So that is something that alido. Alikuwa na a band, alikuwa na Shiundu on bass guitar na acoustic, alikuwa na Kamwana on keyboard, alikuwa na Passat on talbas. Is that the name? Tablas is the name. Or is it? Yes, tablas. Yeah, the hand drums. Na alikuwa na Zaituni on vocals. So that is what tuli experience, right? And so including hizi other elements of art, of execution imekata, whereby ni more than wewe kukuja kwa show na kukaa na kusikia poetry, ni vitu that ali take into consideration. And even when we are experiencing a reading from Amina, cause kulikuwa na segment where alikuwa anasoma pieces zake from kitabu chake juu the event ilikuwa inakuja na a chapbook ile alitupatia. Even when we are reading, the way in which ali approach ilikuwa really intimate and ili include the audience members, because alikuwa anaambia watu wachague ile poem wangependa asome, so people were shouting randomly, then angesoma the pieces. So that is how the show ilikuwa, with moments za intermissions za Stella Kivuti mwenye alikuwa the host and the MC. Kulikuwa na performance by Zaituni ya ngoma yake moja before tuliingia set ya mwisho of the evening, kisha Amina akamaliza. Kulikuwa pia na a conversation, an interview, a podcast session kati ya Amina na her platonic soulmate Lubna, according to maneno yao in between the show as well, which ni concept that nimeona Ian who alikuwa part of the show cause ni courtesy of creative spills that tuli experience, na ni someone mwenye Amina amepatia a lot of credit sana kwa career yake. Ian, this is something that nimeona ameanza kuieka kwa hizi events zile ako apart. So ilianza na Cheche sessions. I'm trying to think if other creative spills project events before Cheche sessions ilikuanga na interviews na wasanii. None that I can remember, but with Cheche au kuwa na podcast sessions in between performances, between set ya kwanza na set ya pili ya msanii. Nimeona for this one pia walifanya, and it's a great idea. Una get kuingia more and more into the mind state and experiences of the artist na kupata a lot of insights from them. So that's a great idea that naona alianza kufanya, na it adds to the entire experience it breaks the fourth wall, if there is a fourth wall in easy situations. Could bring closer to the artist, and even how the artist ana approach their sets inaweza changia further to the same, kwa sababu kama an artist amekuwa akishare intimate moments or personal moments, kama ni anecdotes or some sentiments in between pieces and performances, when kuna a sit down with them in between the performance, it just heightens na enhances kile tayari alikuwa ashaanza. And even if not, that is not the MO of a particular artist, hizo conversations in between shows do that, na una get to feel, oh, okay, when a human being with human experiences, mna get to interact more, mna get kuuliza maswali, mna get kuwasikiza wakishare zaidi. So that is a great approach to getting more from the artist from this sit down. And it's even better if ni people who are into the arts and care. So for Lubna, ye kama a platonic soulmate wa Amina, that was absolutely perfect. Mtu amekuwa naye through journey yake. Amina hata alishare, ama Lubna ndio alishare, ama ilikuwa Amina, ni Amina alishare vile alianza journey yake. Kulikuwa na an audition call for Poetry Slam Africa. Lubna akatuma pieces zake bila kumwambia, akawa accepted. Bado hakumwambia up until the day of the auditions, ndio akamwambia yo tuishie tao na walikuwa naishia kuperform. So Amina akasema alikuwa very nervous, hakuwa na enough pieces, but aka make it na akaslam. And hiyo journey vile ilianza hivyo ikampeleka hadi yeye kukuwa crowned the 63rd slam champion, whom I had an interview with that you should read. Even that slam yenye aliparticipate in nilireview, nikaandika about it. So Lubna kukuwa na haya mazungumzo naye na hizi moments za humor here and there, some sarcastic remarks, moments of affection na love between them, ilikuwa beautiful ku experience, na ilikuwa perfect that ali have that conversation na Lubna. Hizo conversations za Cheche kuona Ian akizifanya, someone who's been in the art scene for years, as a curator, as an event organizer, as an artist manager, and someone who cares about the art, yeye kuzifanya ina make sense. And kuna questions that atauliza that other people who've not been in the scene as Ian has will never ask. Ilikuwa niseme mimi kufanya the same, but a sentiment that nilipata from Furaha, another journalist mwenye anafanya her thing and she's done so for years as well, ni that nyinyi ni Sanaa kwa sana kiukweli, mnaenda in depth. Na akasema nimejua a lot kuhusu Unganisha from the exchange that mme have. Interviews zingine zile utapata, since people do not care, you won't get much out of that. So kuona hizi sessions za podcasts kwa hizi events is a great opportunity for us kupata the best from these artists. And then the event tayari ni intimate and mna share na mna interact kwa a closed space with people who are there and they've paid 1,000 bob or 1,500 bob kuja kukuona. There is a lot of intimacy in that experience and people who care about the art, and so the artists are free kuji-express na kushare. So inasaidia sana sana sana, and then unawapata in a space where they are performing, so wako in the artistic zone, in the artistic moment, so you just tap further into the same. So that is great na ilikuwa amazing kuiona. Again, getting into Amina's Qalby, soul yake, space yake, culture yake, which is part of it all. Kulikuwa na an intermission where kulikuwa na snacks na kulikuwa na food that tulipewa, ties to culture and ties to who she is. Hatimaye kukawa na a cake cutting kumaliza the celebration, and even before then, after show, Amina alikuwa anaambia watu hii food tumekuja nayo imalizeni, because kwa culture yetu tuwachangi food. Tuna ensure that food imekamilika na ile intention ilikuwa set for imekuwa achieved. So hiyo element ya culture yake and how imemshape is something that you experience from the moment you got into that space in terms of the decor and what they had done with Cheche. It looked different, it smelled different, it felt different, and it was different. So alitumia that space na wakatai to the idea of sisi kukuja kwa soul na heart ya Amina, and the readings tied to the same, the performances, the pieces really tie to the same. And that was the debut showcase by Aminatuzahra Ahmed or Kalebi. So my chart imedisappear tena. How terrible, how terrible. Naweza iona kwa my laptop. Hapa kwa simu imekataa once again as usual. As usual. Kama jana na nisema itafanyika. And indeed. But tuko hapa. So from Friday na Unganisha nilipata goodies. I'm always collecting goodies. Nimemention Saudor, niko na album yake hapa. I'm always collecting and receiving goodies. Niko na lyric book ya Janice Iche mbele yangu from show yake, listening session, listening party, album launch yake ya November 18th last year. Iko hapa. The album, The Journey Continues, debut album yake. Goodies everywhere. Niko na buttons from show ya Mbunge ya last year, that was November, mwaka ukielekea kuisha November 25th. Ilikuwa a week after, or 26th or 27th, because ilikuwa on a Sunday tukienda Nakuru for show yake Vita vya Vina, show yake ya kuretire na niko na the album as well, and here I am, niko na vinyl ya Elsie Mayos na Elotic somewhere here. Goodies from artists. I support these people. Ni pia mnipatie pesa mwache mchezo. Nimwambia hii kazi haina pesa. So this is a single that they released on vinyl last year. I ordered this and I had problems kuipata. Walizituma but hazikunifikia. So kuna people wenye walikanazo kwa port or ziko somewhere kwa container. Who knows what happened to those records. Zile nilikuwa nimetumiwa. It's the same with another vinyl that I ordered towards the end of last year, but this is it from Unganisha. With their signature style, as you can see. And then from Qalby chapbook ile tulikuwa tumeahidiwa na Amina, inaitwa Shadows and Silhouettes. That nilikuwa nasema nitapenda details about earlier, iko available and you can get it. Sijui if it's the same price, but 800 bob, 800 Kenyan shillings. Hiyo ni kituka $5. Unaweza ipata. So Aminatuzahra Ahmed or Kalebi on social media platforms anaenda as the Poetic Snob. So tafuta the Poetic Snob kila mahali utampata. You can also get in touch na Creative Spills, utapata kazi which is CRE8 for creative spells. Look for either entity na utapata hii kazi. So shadows and silhouettes ndio hii hapa. We do not just talk and trash artists. Even if we trash them, we buy their stuff. And you know this if you're a supporter of Sanaa kwa Sana. If you're here an hour and 10 minutes later, you know this. I'm just saying this for someone mwenye may happen to bump into this video randomly na ko this point to the video na ajui. Hivyo ndivyo inakaa. So kama hakuna maswali yoyote, I can do my reading then itoke hapa. Asante to Aisha kwa comments zake. I was just mentioning Amina and then like a comment. Asante sana for being here, Aisha, na appreciate sana your support, your contribution, your comments for this session, in this session, whichever the preposition is, na appreciate sana wakati wako and for staying here. So, naona kuna maswali yoyote papa. My YouTube imekuwa tu ikimisbehave tangu jana. Also, acha niulize, mko na any songs that can make a Mother's Day playlist? Hatujafanya playlist in a while. in forever. Hizo playlist hata mzisikizangi. Ziko 35 playlists which hamsikizangi. So yapo uko hapa na uko na a song ile inaweza unda a Mother's Day playlist. Since we are here, unaweza suggest tuunde a playlist after forever. As I get ready for my reading. Kuna swali toka Hazel. Hazel, najua swali lako ni something nimekuwa nikifikiria. Kuna tweet niliona some time back that I came across randomly from one of our own, as a matter of fact, and I want to use that tweet as part of a conversation that I record, part of these videos that tutakuwa tunafanya huu mwaka that are just fun videos. So an interesting corner that this is a question that you have asked. Anyway, give me a moment. Sasa ni kitu hapo mnaweza admire. You can admire greatness. Sasa niweke hapo muadmire. Mjiulize, what are you doing to support the scene? What role are you playing? And I shall be back. Nyanchama, acha kuuliza maswali, nipatie nyimbo. Nipatie nyimbo. Mmeadmire kazi ya wasanii, mnunue kazi. So swali la Hazel ni, based on your top artists of last year, what ideal collaborations would you see each of them having that would make potentially the dopest projects? Let's see what I can come up with from the top of my head. Tumepata recommendation from Jack. Shukran sana kwa kuwa hapa, alikuwa nami nikianza. Maywood, mother, how are you today? So Waithaka wanaweza kuwa na something interesting na Kasiva, based on what I experienced from Waithaka na Benja. So we can still have that collaboration going vile walikuwa as a duo Waithaka na Benja, and then tuongeze some percussion from Kasiva. I feel that would be brilliant. Kasiva can also fit perfectly na Coco M. Kasiva na Coco M would do amazing together. Didn't they have a song kwa Kilumi? They did. Land Fast. Yes, Land Fast. Nimekumbuka. Nimekuwa najambia, that sounds familiar as a collaboration. Yes, I feel Kasiva na Coco M definitely a great pair pamoja. Ningependa kusikia how Elsie anaweza flow over production ya band. Niko sure if we give band stems za River Nile ama Nilotic na a create a new soundscape around that can be mind-blowing. But even with that, if they're to create some new music, which is what the question inataka ni respond to, that collaboration can work. Nisikie tu Elsie akiflow over madness ya band. That can be fire. Natry kufikiria nani anaweza pea na creativity na production ya Nyokabi Kariuki. Labdi can throw some amazing vocal performances on what Nyokabi hufanya, whereby ata come up na melodies and rhythms kufit kile Nyokabi do. Naweza taka kuona what anaweza fanya in that sort of space. Someone else ni Zinia's vocal prowess, kuona what anaweza come up with, ataka si lyrics, even for lab, ataka si lyrics, vocalizations, some skirting, some harmonizing hapa na pale over Nyokabi Kariuki's musicality. That can be something ningependa pia ku experience. So hizo zimekuwa coming from list yangu ya EPs. Liboy would fit well na Kasiva as well, ukiangalia direction alichukua in terms of the sounds zile aliwork nazo on State of Being, and what Kasiva does as a percussionist and as a vocalist, that can work. For I would also love kusikia Elsie over Akili Black's production. I would love to experience that. So hiyo nimeenda kwa list ya hip hop projects. Ningependa kusikia collabo, and it would be intriguing philosophically na lyrically. Sijui which production would work. Sijui how this other person would fit into Akili's production, but a collaboration between Trabuli na Metaphysics. Metaphysics alikuwa list yangu ya hip hop projects na list yangu ya albums of last year. Kama hujasikiza Metaphysics, so sijui how Metaphysics would sound over production ya Akili Black. Tumesikia Trabuli over production type ya Metaphysics, but the lyrical capabilities of those two MCs, and how they think na kuwasikia philosophically, na ideas zao, that combination OD mbaya sana. Niko sure Trabuli would do well over production ya Kilihipi. Kilihipi alikuwa na beat tapes, zimefika beat tapes 10 sahi, alianza August of last year. A beat tape each month. I said this kwa our top hip hop projects of 2022 video. Niko sure Trabuli would sound amazing over Kilihipi's production. So hii nimeenda kwa hip hop projects of last year. Tukienda kwa albums, Zinia and Jinku. Kwa Jinku alikuwa na Passenger 555 na Karun. So kutoa one artist from my EP list, Zinia na Ukweli had maybe Zinia na Jinku. That would be an experience. I would love to hear a full-length project from Ivy Alexander na Fancy Fingers, purely instrumental. Walikuwa na 2 songs kwa Potluck. Ningependa a full-length project from them, hata kani an EP, but a full project, each composition wako wote pamoja. I'd love to, that would come out beautifully, niko certain. Nafikiria Costa, who'll be performing on Tuesday at Nakili Sessions. Oh yeah, hizo zimekuwa from my memory. Let me now see wasanii wenye sijataja. Hazel, uko na any collaborations that una feel zitakuwa amazing? Meta. Who would Jumadi go well with? A song kati ya Jumadi na Kasiva would be something. Sijui how Jumadi and Costa would sound. They both sing na Kijaka Nam. Najaribu kufikiria a concept here and there apart from mapenzi, which pia najua they can do well as a matter of fact, so that could be a possibility. Naweza sema Janice na New Funk can create something. Janice and New Funk can create something. Ukiangalia their sonic approaches, their sonic sensibilities. Savara and Costa. Savara and Costa. Tusikie Costa akiget kwa bag ya Savara. That can be something. Hizo ni baadhi ya idea zile nimefikiria. Also a song kati ya Fancy Fingers na Lisa Odur itakuwa, I would say, a safe song. Safe in terms of nikaa safe nikifikiria Jumadi na Costa wakiimba kuhusu mapenzi, the thematic approach ni safe, similar to the way nafikiria Fancy Fingers na Lisa. If that collabo is to happen now, ita fit kwa context ya what Fancy Fingers anafanya na Love Language, where akona collaborations na female artists from across the continent. So sijui kama anafanya different countries for each song. So far kuna Kenya na Uganda, Azawi na Karun, 1 in a Million na what's the name of the song? And I reviewed it. What's the name of that song? Far away, far away, far away, far away, far away. Sijui kama anafanya hivyo for hizo collaborations where ni a different country for each song, but if that collabo is to happen now, itafit your concept vizuri sana, Fancy Fingers na Lisa Odur Noah. If it is to happen outside of that and tusikie production ya Fancy Fingers, composition yake na Lisa, I feel pia it will most likely be a love song, which is fine, but na feeling love songs na safe songs to create na ni easy as a thing to grasp on. Thematically ni a low hanging fruit. That's what nilikuwa nasema, but that collabo pia inaweza weza vibaya sana kusikia vocals za Lisa na production ya Fancy Fingers. So hizo ni some collaborations. Some, do we call them dream collaborations? Do we call them, what's the word nafikiria? Limenitoka hilo neno, but zina come from the best of 2022 kimziki for me. So nimetumia list zangu za wale wasanii I had kwa best albums, best EPs na best hip hop projects kuunda hizi collaborations, fantasy collaborations if we are to say so. So Hazel amesema, I've been thinking a lot about a collaboration between New Funk, of course, we know, and Alwyn. Especially because of his song Nairobi. I think this two would be an interesting match. Okay. New Funk and Alwyn. tutafikishia New Funky video tuone what they can do na Alwyn, na kama kuna a possibility, and if it's to happen New Funk na Alwyn, hapo kwa commission mnaweka Hazel Nyokabi, huyo ni stan wa New Funk, na mnieke pia for passing this message and forwarding this comment, because otherwise hamngejua story ina exist. So you're welcome, and tupatieni pesa, nimesema tunataka pesa. So kama kuna swali jingine unaweza uliza, if not I can do a reading, tutoke hapa. We've only got one recommendation na ni kutoka Jack Maywood. Mother, how are you today? Hazel, do you have any? Nyanchama, do you have any? If bado mpo hapa, actually if Nyanchama uko hapa, na Hazel who's just commented. Recommendations mnazo? If not ni sawa, no pressure, you can send through later. If not naweza fanya my reading then nimalize hii session. So hiki kitabu ina kurasa 37. So pick a random number and a page I can read from. Jack amesema 14 because ni 14th. Very lazy, very lazy. Haya, so page 14 ini from Shadows and Silhouettes. Chapbook cha Amina, unaweza kipata bado kimtafuta at The Poetic Snob. Mada ni Empathy's Awakening. It was always about me, always about how you left me, how you let me break down, left me without a sound. I was always the victim, the one who got hurt the most, the one whose love is gone, the one who had to drown her sorrows, the one without anyone to comfort, the one who was buried in your lies. I guess I just never realized you were hurting too. Any other page? Apart from being as obvious as 14. Oh. Hazel, sijui if ulikuwa hapa nikiongelea Unganisha. I don't know, maybe utawatch back, utaona kile nilisema. Also Hazel, the book inafika ukurasa wa 37, si 39, 37. So I am assuming unamaanisha the last page. Naam. Haya, naam. Kama nimesema 39 makosa ni yangu, but nashuku Hazel makosa ni yake. I am always right. Mada ya hii ni The Crown I Wear. Nyanchama amesema the previous one, Empathy's Awakening, is incredibly short. Nyanchama anakuja from our short story ya last week yenye ili mesmerize. Ikafanya a rethink briefly mapenzi yake na affinity yake for married women. The crown I wear. I was here when you talked of Unganisha. Okay, sawa. That is coming through. I come from a lineage of women who taught me that my worth is not defined by another's. I was taught to demand respect and give it to myself. I was named Aminatuzahra, and for so long I had to learn to love a name so heavy with culture and meaning. But now, I tell them to speak my name correctly, to call me by my title and address me by the crown that I wear. I no longer dim my light so that others can shine. Now I play sun and let them bask in my rays as they reflect parts of me to glow. Because I come from a lineage of women whose worth is not defined by anyone else other than themselves. That is the crown I wear. And Nyanchama, as Jack may pinpoint, I may multiply 14 by 2. Higher. Our last reading of this evening inaitwa A Sinner's Monologue. In page 28. The other one was page 37. The other one was page 14. So, A Sinner's Monologue. I've been questioning life a lot recently. I've been asking myself if life is worth being here for, and I never have an answer. Sitting, contemplating, thinking, listening, trying to find a reason for every beat of my heart, and it makes me feel sick to my core. Makes me want to run from this body and to try to send it back to whoever gave it to me. Who said I wanted it anyway? I've been hoping that the world ends soon because I don't want memories of me lurking like a shadow I cannot seem to get away from. I don't want to sleep and still have my name being said from dark corners and dark rooms where all they remember me by is my face, my beauty. They'll question how it became a cry for help, but I'm used to bending at their words anyway. Pray for them because their ears all seem to be deaf to realities. How awful it must be to fake compassion, to fake understanding. Why in the world do they care when all they've ever done is look the other way? Bash their eyelashes and hope that if they ignore the elephant in the room long enough, it'll disappear. Maybe fold itself into the smallest box it can find, it can fit into and be a gift to somebody. Maybe leave them the hell alone, maybe a disappearing act. Made me feel like a magician every time I cast a smile on this face. Like magic, it holds up in time to make the final impact. Stays on long enough for the applause, standing ovation. Bright lights flashing as I realize how the tight mask is sewed onto my face. I don't recognize myself in the mirror. What's to look at if all I want is to change the reflection? If I had a penny for every time a man called me beautiful, I'd buy myself a new reflection. One that makes me carry a mirror in my purse. Because why the hell not? I've been questioning beauty lately and concluded that it's like reaching for the sun. I'll never get close enough. We'll always fall short so many times that the word almost becomes my entire vocabulary. The only word that doesn't sound like a litany. Almost pretty, almost beautiful, almost loved, almost enough, almost. And when you ask me if I'm okay, what I really want to say is almost. It's difficult to breathe in a body you don't want to be in, a body that doesn't want you anyway, to breathe into lungs that wish they could collapse. And sometimes, some twisted part of me loves being breathless. Like that sickening feeling of almost dying makes me feel alive again, and special, and wanted. Like if this body doesn't want to keep me being here, then maybe dying will want me. That death will love me. That my heart will no longer beat to a tune given to it. Maybe I want to make my own music. A soft symphony of choruses sung by the deaf. loud enough for them to hope that you can hear. I sit gasping in prayer because God is an image that I so desperately want to believe in, for the loneliness to be filled with worship. And like an empty mosque, I pray that all my bones will quake and this God will look down at me. Ask, what more do you want? What happened to gratitude? Why are you not grateful for a breath you don't want? I've been avoiding going to mosques lately, been too afraid to smell the belief and find something to live for, to find hope. What more do I label myself as so that I give reason for every day I wake up and feel like I'm still needed here? Do I hold faith close because I want to believe in a heaven after this? A place where I can go to? What makes me think it's gonna be different? What universe do I want to exist in? So desperately trying to find some hope and a place to fit in. A belonging that doesn't feel like loneliness. I'll never know how well I can play pretend. I've stopped looking in mirrors trying to search for pieces of myself. That closes our Sunday session on this 14th day of May 2023. A year after having a conversation on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers ya Kendrick Lamar na Babu. Ilitoka on the 13th, which was a Friday, and we had our session on the 15th on a Sunday. Learning the 14th, the album turned 1 yesterday. Hiyo piece inaitwa A Sinner's Monologue. Ile imetumalizia. The one before that was The Crown I Wear, and the one before that was Empathy's Awakening. Hii ni an anthology, a chapbook, a collection inaitwa Shadows and Silhouettes by Aminatuzahra Ahmed. Goodies that I have. Asante sana Hazel, shukran sana Nyanchama, shukran sana Jack, shukran sana Aisha for making this Sunday session successful. Kando na kukua lazy na kufikiria number 14 Jack na Nyanchama. At least you ain't lazy like me, as pointed out. And then Nyanchama akasema, interestingly, before you said it, 14 was my first thought. Very lazy human beings. Nyanchama akasema, oh, that poor baby from the reading. My answer in following to all existential crises is just lose yourself. I'd love to explore this philosophical thought from Nyanchama here. And I said this nikianza hii session that kuna a brilliant conversation that we have na Muthoni Ni Mimi that should be coming out very soon kuhusu show yake ya March. Before that session tulikuwa na a philosophical conversation, an in-depth philosophical conversation, one for the books. That's literally all we do, is just have conversations that are for the books. So we are exploring such themes and what not. Yes, Nyanchama, zote ni pieces za Amina. So ukitaka kupata Amina for hiki kitabu, nimesema jina lake mtandaoni ni The Poetic Snob. Nilishare some clips from the session on Instagram. So if you're here, you can hope check if you didn't yet. If you're watching this now, literally, because ukiziona after now zitakuwa disappear. If you're watching this video later, gonna disappear an hour from now, so I don't think you'd be able to find them, but after the poetic snob utapata kitabu iwapo una kihitaji. And apart from the book, nilikuwa pia na chai that nilinunua, spices za kuunda chai. So that has been this session of ours. Shukran for being here. Tuonane wiki ijayo. Kama una watch this video baadaye na uko na a song for a Mother's Day playlist, feel free comment below, feel free kuniambia. Pia Nyanchama na Hazel, if you do have any that ungetaka kushare nami, niambie tafadhali. Now that I remember, those hanged posters behind you as always, what are they? Kindly. Hizi ni notes. Niliziongelea haikukuwa live. Hizi ni notes. Poster niko nayo hapa ni poster ya Nirvana hapa kwa ukuta. So Nyanchama amekataa. Ni sawa. Yeye amekataa, amesema no African, answer me first. Haya. Tutashinda hapo. Asante for being here. Tuchekiane kwa video ingine. Kwa wale wenye tunaonana Ijumaa, tuchekiane Ijumaa. Nyanchama anasema pain. Unfortunately, pain is the fabric of existence. How unfortunate. Of course, Hazel, I won't even accept it. Hata unajua. Your statement ingeishia kwa if I re-recommend ingeishia tu hapo. Why do that? Eh? Anataka ku re-recommend Johnny Drill. Nali isema last year. Lazy people. Get creative. Tuonane kwa another video. Tuonane whenever tutaonana. Asante sana for being here and for making another Sunday session successful. Na appreciate wakati wako, na appreciate sentiments zako, na appreciate your participation na your engagement. Asante sana.